There we go. What's up, YouTube? How you doing, buddies? I'm ready. No, you're not. Don't even put that stuff out. Don't put that evil on me, Rick and Bobby. So for those who need the YouTube channel, there you go. What's up, Jonathan? Yeah, so the YouTubers who just missed that, I will be doing a special YouTube stream for the FOMC event this afternoon. If y'all would like, I could stream the event through the YouTube channel, but be aware if you do that, there's going to be a delay that I have with my stream. So that is your call, whichever you want to do. I'll stream it through here. Good morning, David. How you doing? Sir Andre Sparrow. Good morning, Jonathan. So yeah, right now the one thing to note is that big 4250 level. They had a 900 block of orders at 4250 yesterday. That is now gone completely, like it wasn't even there. So very curious. They took off all the liquidity both above and below. We have less than a minute until the market opens. We got a little bit of shaking and baking here. I've already got one good trade in on ES. And see where we go from there. So it looks like they're going to put us on a neutral slate coming into the open because all the upper and above. Now they could throw it back on here in a few minutes, but in terms of the open, that's what we got. Right now, I've got the SPX May 4th contracts open, ready to go. No positions holding right now, and the market's going to be open here in 24 seconds. Let's try to have a good day. Remember, position size, when the volatility, when the uncertainty goes up, your position size needs to go down. I don't want to hear anyone blowing up their accounts today, regardless of a big loss or a big win. I want you to take small position sizes. Volatility goes up, your position size needs to go down. Yeah, it's usually pretty flat going into the FOMC just because uncertainty. All right, there it is. There's the market open, 8:30. Small green candle after a large red to start the day off. And let's take a look where they have liquidity at. They put a little bit on at 4085. And they put those orders back on up at 4250. Yep, they put them back on. So all those big orders came back on at 4250, 900 blocks, and a 4230 block. Double red candles to start the day off. And there you go. So it looks like, bam, right out of the gate, they're going to fill the gap on SPY. NASDAQ is already popping or testing pre-market lows. And now broken pre-market. Nope, not yet. Testing pre-market lows. In fact, I'm going to put a line right there. There you go. VIX is 29.22, kind of uptrending into the bell. The yields are trickling up to 3 again. So the yields came down. They are now trickling from 2.9905 and up to 2.987 and upwards. Let's go back to SPY. All right, double red here on SPY. Let's take a look at XLF. XLF is got a red candle to start the day off there. XLV, healthcare, same thing. XLK, tech sector, popped up and now with a little red there. NASDAQ, new lows on broke the pre-market lows. Apple is shaking out there. Everything else is red. So Apple is the only one coming out green. Tesla did. And then everything else has got a nice little red candle to start the day off. Red candles. We're now under RS1 and coming on down. Let me make sure. 3-minute charts. NASDAQ's there, and VIX is 29.22. Welcome. What tickers am I using for the yields? I'll show you. I track the 210s and the 30s, and I use those right there. All right. All right, currently looking at the May 4th contracts, 4190 calls, 4160 puts is what I have on deck. We've got this one red candle here on the 3-minute, dropped us from the open of 47 and change down to 416.50. That's a little bit, what about a 60 to 70 cent move there. Now, if you are tier 2, I posted some content there this morning. I think some useful tools that you could that we're going to talk about on tonight's stream. Tonight is the first Zoom call of the month for the tier 2s. So we'll be getting together tonight and going over today's FOMC, any kind of questions you have, especially the new members who want to get up to speed on how we do things here, as well as that content I posted. So Look at NASDAQ coming off from 13,115 down to 0.65. ES is 41.70. I closed my shorts at 41.79. That would have been nice to get a little bit more, but hey, I'm happy with that. That's a good way to start the day off. Bottom wick, green candle on the NASDAQ as we're now coming down to touch S2. And let's see if we visit post-market lows, which is about 15 to 20 cents below where we currently are. And see where we go from there. Nice red candles across the NASDAQ and SPY. Straight down, baby. May the 4th be with us. That's right. Today is May 4th. If you noticed in the market analysis channel, we are currently pinned at the top range of a multi-day downwards channel. Big green on the NASDAQ. Top range of a multi-day downward channel. If we decide to reject that, we'll see if we can come down and test the bottom of that channel, which is a little bit down. I did post, obviously, the R5, S5 levels that we post every morning in the market analysis, but I do have some extreme outliers calculated in the event that we make a large move today, which we will. I just don't know if we're going up and down. So I calculated an outlier way up, way down. If we break either of those levels, we will have a significant follow-on movement coming into the coming weeks, and that'll kind of define where we are going to go. Once again, I don't expect VIX to move all that much until post-FOMC. If you see the VIX start to come way off after the event, 22, 21, and then we get this big upwards movement, then we can expect some follow-on bullish movement into tomorrow. But today will be a very interesting day. Good morning, good morning. 2 healthy red candles here on the 3-minute. It's relatively muted action compared to what we saw yesterday. This is only... let's see, we opened at 417.43 and we're now 416.34, so a dollar movement, which is nice, but muted compared to what we had yesterday. Although NASDAQ is still falling on down. Just covered half your 4180s at 4168, and NASDAQ is still filling downwards. The yields are popping up. Ooh, look at that. The yields officially hit 3% again. In fact, I think they just popped new. Nope, they tied yesterday. So the yields are at 3003, bottom wick green candle off of S2 for SPY. And let's see if the yields continue to climb. That is not good for tech if those things continue to climb. Hence this big downward action on the NASDAQ. But look at that, little bottom wick green. Yo, look at Starbucks. I hope Starbucks goes to 0. So we'll see what happens. Currently looking at 41. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the 4190 calls. May 4th, 4190 calls. Let's see if we can get a bump here. Our SPY is going green. I don't want to come off of these charts just yet. We are at a pivotal moment. Look at that big green on the NASDAQ. A little bit of green here on SPY coming back up. May 4th. Man, these premiums are expensive. These are $30 premiums for a 0 DTE contract. Do you recommend trading SPY options at open if you see a trend pre-market? Trading the first few minutes of the day it's very aggressive movement. So as long as you're quick on the trigger and you can manage your stops and entries and exits very quickly, then do it by all means. It's a great way to make some money as long as you're correct. The asterisk there being as long as you are correct. Let's see where this thing is going to go. Big movement on the NASDAQ. Big green on the NASDAQ. And then coming on down. Top wick on the SPY, just under VWAP. Trying to make a move. Where are we going to go? May the 4th be with you. Very well. Yep. Looking at the 4190 calls right now, May 4th. They're currently trading for $25.50. Now 26. Now 26.50. They're all over the place. Where are we going to go? This candle can barely hold. Let's take a look at the book map. Where's that at? All liquidity right now is above us. NASDAQ is barely holding on to this green candle. It's shaking all over the place. Top wicks on the green. Let's see where XLF is going. XLF is coming off. Red candles off the 50 simple moving average and down filling pretty aggressively. So XLF is dumping. The bonds are dumping. TLT came off from 118.77 and now dropping to 117.48. The 10-year yields are still spiking over 3. Still spiking over 3 here. So let's see where this candle wants to close. 3-minute candle. Oh yeah, I mean, they're 0 DT positions, so they will drop in value just inherently, just by theta, because they're 0 DT positions. But we need to see where this thing's going. So NASDAQ we're still on this 3-minute candle. I feel like this is the longest 3-minute candle in the world. It's still barely trying to hold on to this 3-minute green. We need a close here to see where we're going. We're bouncing off a VWAP at the moment on SPY and trying to make a moveroni. TLT is absolutely falling. It's bringing down XLF here. A little bit of shaking, but XLF is just bottom wicked and saved that candle at the moment. Where is this candle going to go? We finally closed that 3-minute green. We have this follow-on candle now. Let's see if we could take out this prior swing level. Yeah, the IV on these contracts are high. And what happens when you have that big spike in IV? You can anticipate that's this market's way of pricing in a larger movement. If you want to get in on the action, you're going to have to pay for it. So the IV is spiked. These premiums are very expensive. I'm talking at these 41.90 calls are outside the money 0 DT contract. They're almost $27 right now for a 0 DT contract on SPX. So very expensive premiums. And that green candle rejected that swing high area. And it looks like it's trickling on back down now. Let's take a look at the UK. What are they doing? UK market was down aggressively. They were down, I think, almost a full percent. And now they've bounced back up with that movement. They've got a little bit of red there. The German market's pretty flat, not all that much movement. And yeah, we are just kind of pinged right here to S2. NASDAQ is down filling, a little shaking and baking. Would it be smart to trade futures with this if that's the case? It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. If you have the ability and the know-how to trade futures, do that. My only concern with a day like today is if we do have a momentary period of volatility and you get caught in a losing position, I don't want anyone to bag hold. So I would not recommend trading futures unless you have experience in trading futures and you know how. Bag holding futures is a terrible way to blow up your account. Or I guess it's a great way to blow up your account. It's a terrible thing to do. Big green candle. All right, there's a nice bottom wick, lower volume though. VIX is coming off here, and we've got an SPY green candle, and it's being wicked out. NASDAQ is green. It's being wicked. Wicksville, baby. Wicksville. Another indecisive candle here on the NASDAQ, and we are just chopping. And we need some sort of movement here. Some sort of movement. I'm trying to make an entry here on these 41.90s, but it's very indecisive at the moment. Very indecisive. Complete indecisive candle here on the NASDAQ. That's bottom wick, top wick right there. VIX is making new lows, so that's good. We might have a little relief there. And what I'm going to do is put, no, not that one. I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to put that there on the VIX. $41.90 call, still looking at them. NASDAQ coming on back down after a decent green candle up to that little level there, that 13,114. Let's take a look at the book map. Immediate area, I've got 4160. 4160 on ES. We are currently 4172 on ES. We may come down and touch that. We'll see. With all this indecisiveness, what is making you want to take a call? I'm not necessarily looking to take a call. I've got calls up there just in case we get a bounce off there, because right now we are pinging. We do have some bottom wicks. In fact, I'm going to go to the 5-minute. We've got some bottom wicks and strong top wicks. This volume is low and the VIX is coming off here. So I'm just got calls up there because I have to have something up, but right now we're just a little choppy. A little choppy. There's a 5-minute chart. Nothing but wicks on the 5-minute chart. Looking at the book map, everything is below us at the moment, and then or well above us. We have a little bit of light volume at 4,200 here. We've got a lot way up above us, 42.48, which is very interesting. That's been there all week, though. That's been there all week. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. It's a good question. Let's take a quick look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ is well above us, 13,230. So they are 200 points above us, 150 points above us on NASDAQ, which is not all that much for the NASDAQ, but is well above us regardless. And there it is. There it is. Little green candle. Let's see if we can come back up. There's a bounce off S2, trying to come back up to that 417.5 level. NASDAQ cannot get there. It's just very, very weak. XLF, nice green bouncing. XLV, small green candle. NASDAQ getting smashed again. NASDAQ cannot hold a green candle. Look at that. And it's because of the yields. The yields are spiking, and tech is just getting smoked. Can't do it. Can't do it. Let's take a look here. Apple, top wicking. Microsoft is red. Amazon came down. Google's down. Tesla's coming off big time. NVIDIA, ooh, big smoke show of NVIDIA. Look at that. NVIDIA's dumping. Facebook's got a small green. And right here, 2 green candles. This is the 5-minute chart. Let's switch back over to the 3. NASDAQ is still very, very weak. Tech is still very, very weak. Where can we go? Where can we go? All right. So I think this is going to be our fate today until FOMC. I know it's going to be a lot of hands sitting and then a lot of boringness followed by about an hour and a half of extreme excitement. So hopefully it's good excitement and not stress for you all. If you are taking credit spreads today, I would highly encourage you to smack yourself in the face. Don't do it. I would not take unless you have an account to defend credit spreads and you are very well versed in credit spreads. Do not do it. Do not do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Man, look at that. NASDAQ still very weak. SPY is not going to be able to make a move back up to pre-market levels unless the NASDAQ can really pump it, because it ain't happening. Another top wick green candle on SPY. Bouncing off this little, oh, look at that. NASDAQ coming all the way back down. All the way back down. Yep, that's flying. Hours of boredom with moments of sheer terror. Hopefully you don't want sheer terror while you're in an aircraft, but I feel you. NASDAQ's coming down. Did you take delta into consideration when managing risk also? I don't when I'm trading long options. Not when I'm trading long options. Just because I kind of know, I've been doing this long enough, I know where my sweet spot is on options. I know where I want to trade, where I'd like to trade. I built my system based around deltas, but now I've been doing this so long, I know where my sweet spot. So, good question though. I think it's very important to understand deltas and understand all the Greeks altogether. Hey, thanks, Blaze. Read my mind, buddy. So look at with a little bit of divergence here. NASDAQ is down 0.14. ES is up 0.19. Look at that big smoke show of a candle. Bottom top wick red. SPY cannot overcome it. XLF, this is the reason why XLF, the banks right now are holding up SPY. That is the reason why SPY is going up, while NASDAQ is dumping. VIX is now fallen to new lows here and is at 28.75. So, is Bookmap a paid service? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yep, that's right, Kevin. If you notice, I posted on in the room that chart from March 15th. Absolute insanity. It can't be defined by anything else other than insanity. SPY fell $7 and then immediately reversed and raged $11 up, and it smoked a lot of people. So, when is Biden oh yeah, Biden is speaking today. So he announced last night that he's going to be coming out and speaking actually the same time Jay Powell is talking. So it's interesting to say the least that they're going to be talking. For those who do play Fortnite, they released a new Star Wars update. My kids were stoked about that. They were playing a little bit yesterday. Still looking at the 41.90 contracts. At the money contracts for SPWOX on a 0 DTE are $30, $32 to be exact. Crazy. Yeah, contracts are expensive. They're expensive. IV is very high relative to what we're normally used to. 72% IV on SPX. Incredibly high for a 0 DT position. It's all right. Go down to either SPY or XSP. Either SPY or XSP. You're welcome. You're welcome. I used to absolutely hate Fortnite. I thought the building was terrible, but my kids wore me down, and now I play with them whenever I do get to play. Do I have any positions currently? Negative. I don't. I took a nice little position pre-market, but this is when I see a divergence right here, Nasdaq ES, it's difficult to trade because one of them has to follow up with the other. You have to have correlation between one of them to make any trend move, any kind of get in on a move. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they have it's less bad now. All right, so tech is finally coming up. SPY's got some nice green coming back to pre-market open, or to right at the session open. But look at those wicks on the Nasdaq. Indecision. Indecision. I'll reiterate. Save your powder. Keep your powder dry. Make sure you get everything nice and safe, and then get ready for this afternoon. There's nothing. I would recommend don't even trade until you see these moves for FOMC. There's nothing wrong with it. Looks like Dave Chappelle was attacked on stage last night. No good. No good. Trying to match your chart setup. I'm a crypto guy. Yeah, what's up, Sam? Let me know if you got a question. I can help you get that direction. What is FOMC? FOMC is the meeting that JPOW comes out and discusses the economic. Basically, it's a Federal Reserve meeting. They come out and they discuss the rate hikes and the forward-looking guidance for the economy that he needs to adjust. He needs to make moves to do what they call a quote-unquote soft landing. There's nobody looking at me, but I still do the quotations. It reminds me of that episode in Friends where Joey's like, I don't know what this means. I'm going to not until, because I do have a personal obligation I have to go do from about 10 o'clock Eastern till roughly 11:30 Eastern, somewhere in there. But then I will be back for FOMC, and I will YouTube stream it. So, if you are on the YouTube, then be aware for that. Be ready for that. More wicks, man. Look at that. Look at that. 5-minute chart, indecisive. Let's go to the 15. We've only got one full 15-minute candle formed, and look at that, man. Big bottom wick, big top wick on the 15-minute, indecisive. Going to the 30-minute, of which we only have partial candle, indecisive. So there's the 3-minute top wick city, man. Wicks everywhere. If I play FOMC, it'll just be small position size on both sides with a TP set. Yeah. Now, a lot of people ask me, what's a good trade for the FOMC? Should I play a straddle for the FOMC? Should I play a long strangle for the FOMC? A straddle normally is an iffy position because you're dealing with IV. However, the position, you basically got a 50-50 shot. If the market tanks down to 4,000, you're going to make a killing on a straddle, and especially if you're good at managing positions, you can cut the call, let the put run. You're going to make a killing. If you go the upside, you'll still make a profit, but it won't be as aggressive because you're going to face mind-crushing IV, face-crushing IV, way up. But you'll still make some good money. I don't think you're going to have a flat action into close. I think you'll make money either way. But just be aware. If you do take a straddle, wait as long as possible to take that straddle. I'm talking like the second you start to see J Powell's lips go rate hike, you take it. Don't take it now because you'll face theta, you'll face decay, all that crap. So yeah, you may feel both sides. Yeah. And that's the great thing about a straddle is that if you enter a straddle, you don't have to close out each one. You could set a stop order for both the call and the put. So if we do get crazy up and down action, you could set, all right, well, I'm just going to set a limit order for 30% on the call and then 30% on the put, and you may get both filled. You don't have to set one single order for the straddle. So, all right, little red candles here. NASDAQ, new lows again. SPY coming back down to S2. Notice how flat SPY is and look how bearish NASDAQ is. And here, look at this right here. Can YouTube see my watch list? Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, so look at this right here. ES is up 0.04. NASDAQ is down 0.35. There is a divergence there, which brings in a little unpredictability, but it's caused by the banks, XLF. For those of you who have asked several times, why do I monitor XLF? It's only a very small portion of the S&P. Well, this is why. The banks, financial sector. Whenever you see the bonds doing this crazy movement or the yields doing this 3.007, you're going to have movement with the banks. The banks flourish in a high yield environment. These are high yields. The yields are spiking up over 3, so the banks are going to benefit from that. Hence the big green action on the banks here, 35 and 17. What's the impact of rate hikes and TLT? The rate hikes, not necessarily. I want y'all to look at, I want y'all to think about, someone actually messaged me about this today. I'm going to get back to you. How do I view bonds? How do I play bonds? How do I think like the big and institutional investor? Because if you want to fully understand how the market moves, you need to understand big money. How do the institutions invest? When me and you want to take risk off the table, what do? We just go to cash. We go 100% cash. Take the money off, take the risk off, and I'm going cash. Mark can't touch me. Well, institutions, big money cannot do that. They can't just go to cash. They have to be in invested position. So when they want to reduce their risk, they look to rotate their money into the less riskiest position they can. So if you see that flight to safety into bonds are going crazy, you can anticipate some sort of downside in the markets. Market's going to come off a little bit when you finally see that big flight to safety. Now, I'm not talking about intraday chop. I'm not talking about chop. I'm talking about if you see a general move in the bonds, huge upside, huge downside, you're going to see that flight to safety. Or if you're going to see that rotation out of bonds into the market, you're going to see that too. So it's important to monitor the bond market. It's important to monitor the yields as well, especially now they're spiking over 3. I mean, they're all the 30 years and the 10 years are over 3 right now. I'm not necessarily talking about Buffett by himself. I'm talking about funds. I'm talking about larger organizations. So well, that's the thing. When you start to see the bonds move in direction in relation to the actual market itself, that's a high volatile area, especially with the bonds are getting crushed, with the markets going way up and way down, huge oscillations tracking sideways. And then finally, the past month and a half, we've had this nice downward trend, or 3 months, we've had this nice downward trend. But ever since beginning of December, the bonds have been selling off. I mean, they've gone straight down from the 170s now down to, I think the lowest we got was 116-ish, 117-ish. NASDAQ popping new lows again. Good ticker for the bonds. I use TLT to track the 20 years. Let's take a look at the big dogs. Apple, yeah, tech is getting smoked. Apple coming off. Microsoft, big downside here. They went from 280, or Microsoft went from 284 to 280. Amazon's coming off from 24.92 to 24.30, 60-point move. Google's down. So all of tech is getting absolutely smoked. Facebook red. Healthcare is coming on down. UNH, 10% of the Dow by itself is down 0.87%. They're also XLF, the top holding of XLF, which is why they're down as well. XLK is coming off. XLF is stronger than the top three, holding it up. New lows in SPY coming down at 416.14. Man, look at that. NASDAQ is getting destroyed. Let's take a look at the book map. What are they doing? All right, look at that. Look at this first touch, 41.65 and then 41.60. These are the two liquidity levels. Looks like we're going to come down and negotiate these levels. NASDAQ, they don't really have much. They've got a little bit of order there at 13,000, which kind of correlates to where we are in ES. Let's see where we come down. Do I still use a squeeze Momo indicator? I look at the TTM squeeze for longer term portfolios. I don't use it for day trading anymore, but I do look at it from a longer term time set. Am I holding puts? Right now I'm not holding anything. No. So I do want to put some levels on here. There is yesterday's lows right there. I'm going to make that white right there. So if they want to drop it that far, that would be an extremely bearish day. NASDAQ is absolutely in free fall right now. SPY is not necessarily joining up as aggressively. But yeah, XLF is holding it up. So I want to set some smoke alarms on XLF. If it starts to fall, SPY will be destroyed, along with the NASDAQ. So I'm going to set them there at 35.16, just in case we breach that. And I'll set another one at 35. Let's do 35.08, just a little bit below it, because I want to monitor the movement. I don't really care where they are. Apple's starting to come off as well. And there it is. There's that first cross on XLF coming down. Now it's starting to smoke it. So let's bring up, let's see, 41. Man, these premiums are super expensive. 41.60 puts are almost $30. Big red candles off from 417.45 to 415.53. And coming on down. NASDAQ is getting smoked. Nah, there's liquidity way above us, but look at this. So they took off, interesting. So they took off the big level at 41.55. They smoked 41.65 and came down, and now we're touching 41.60. So it looks like we're going to tap on that. NASDAQ is coming down and tapping 13. I would be very surprised to see an overall trending down day into FOMC. I would expect more of a choppy action. But man, this thing is getting smoked straight down. Straight down. So they're grinding that X right there, 41.60. They just ate right through it. They cut it in half right there. So they absorbed that. 41.60 is 20. What's 276 now? They cut that baby in half. You bought a Coinbase put yesterday. All right, bottom wick right off of that. And NASDAQ has got a little level. They touched their 13,000 level, came down, completely absorbed that level, and that's where they are now. So starting to put this level at 41.60 back on ES. And let's see where we're going to go. Well, we'll see. You know, this is the first few minutes of the day here, so we need to figure out if we're going to come on back up. We went from, it's still relatively tight compared to yesterday. We opened right at mid 417s and we dropped to 415s and mid 415s. So it's a $2 range here. Big, but relatively flat compared to what we had yesterday. When we had $2 candles on one, we had $2 on one candle, and this is just a $2 range. So the premiums are very expensive. The price action's erratic, and we have a relatively small movement compared to yesterday. So just make sure you are spot on with your entries. But they really want this 4160 level. Barely any green across the board on anything. XLF is holding. They took out that one smoke alarm and still holding there. XLV is still flat. Choppy price action, downtrending. Everything's down. Yeah. I'm not going to hang my head here on some super downside here. I just think they're just shaking and baking. I think we will make another move back up, but that's where we are. FOMC is 1400 and then 1430 Eastern time. NASDAQ still going lower. Nothing but red across the board. Decent selling volume, yeah. Biden and J Powell are going to be talking at the same time, so very interesting. I'm surprised he's doing that. That level's gone. They brought it down to noise, so that was a 500 level, and they took that out. And now there's nothing below us, unless they got a little bit here at 4150, but it's still light. But if they want to take this all the way down there, man, there's nothing above us. We got something up there at 4,200, which is 40 points above. But here, man, they put on that 42.36 big level. They put on a lot up here at 42.51. But that is it. Is it worth playing SPY with IV so high? Yeah, you just got to make sure you are on the right side of the trade. Obviously, it's gonna use larger position. You're gonna have to play with smaller position size because these premiums are juiced very high right now. And this is straight red on the 3-minute. Nothing but red. Let's go to the 30-minute. 30-minute complete downside. We are on our second 30-minute candle on SPY, both down filling, but look at that candle on the NASDAQ. Just absolute destruction. Absolute destruction. 3-minute there going lower. Or the 5-minute, and there's the 3-minute. Big downfill candle, and then we're bouncing right off S2 there. So it looks like they may pull us to 4150 on a yes. Going lower. I may end up just playing some futures this morning just because of that IV. It's a little high, and this thing is going straight down. There's no buyers here whatsoever. Amazon's getting sold. Yeah, all the tech is getting destroyed. Look at that. Amazon is down another 3%. That is computer selling right there. They're dumping it. NASDAQ's going lower. Apple, Microsoft down. Google. This is very interesting action going into FOMC. Very interesting action. Dump fest. So NASDAQ is down to yesterday's lows. Down to yesterday's session lows here. So if we take out that day, strap on your boots because it's going to be fun. Yeah, they'll keep shifting orders. I mean that's what on the book map. This is what a trend day looks like. They post an outlier. Man, XLF is still dropping now. Now XLF is coming off. So that's what a trend day looks like on the book map. Is they'll post an outlier way lower and then they'll stair step it down like this. This is what it looks like. They'll go bam, 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 and they'll just keep on dropping it. and the price will keep absorbing those levels as they keep dropping. So, but this has been straight down, straight down. Yeah, I mean, this is this morning shakeout here. If this continues into about 10:30, it would be very interesting, but we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens. I'm going to do a poll. Let's see. All right, so very, very small green, very weak green candles, no buying at all. It doesn't look good for buyers so far. What is that white line on the NASDAQ chart? That is yesterday's lows. So we're bouncing right off yesterday's lows right now. We fell off that 13,159, and we've fallen to 979. So about 80-point move here. Another green candle failed top wick. I think we're going to bring this at 41.50 at least. So now we have XLF is barely holding the 50. XLV starting to come up just a touch. But, I mean, look at this. There's destruction in tech right now. Apple is the lone green wolf. The lone green wolf. If they decide to join the fun, SPY will probably correlate with ES if that happens. Time to put a put on Apple. There you go. What's up, Buzz Money Rabbit? Why would you buy a put on Apple, the strongest tech stock so far? In overall market weakness, it's not necessarily a bad idea to short an outlier. If the entire market is tanking, and for some reason Apple is holding strong. But is Bookmap useful on SPY? I don't necessarily think so. There's a lot of noise, a lot of fake outs on that. So how come you trade SPX contracts instead of cheaper SPY with more trims? Commissions is the main reason. I mean, I was spending thousands of dollars in commissions when I used to trade SPY. Now I spend a couple of dollars on commissions. Taxes are another one too, but the immediate effect is commissions. Instead of trading 200 contracts of SPY, I can trade 20 contracts on SPX. So here we are down to S3 already. How much is an average position size for me? It depends. It depends, man. Am I doing zero DT? Look, we're gonna come down to touch 41.50. Am I trading zeros? Am I trading 3 days? Am I trading Swing trades, it depends. I mean, sometimes I trade 2 contracts, sometimes I trade 11 contracts, sometimes I trade 4 contracts. It depends. It depends on my confidence level. It's not really a one size fits all thing. You know, I'm always looking for the high confidence trade. The higher the risk, the lower the position size. Do you usually set 4 support and resistance each? I usually do 5. 5 up, 5 down. Man, this thing's barely holding on. So, barely holding on. All right, coming down to, again, the NASDAQ is going to come down. Let's just touch here. Let's see where they got it on the BM here. And 970. I think they're going to touch 4150 on ES. There's no immediate target. And this is so weak that it looks like they're going to bring it down, and which will be a roughly S4, which is a significant level. So I would not be surprised if they bring this down on ES, touch 4150, and we're going to come down and touch S4, and there we go. Couldn't even get a dang short in. Dang nabbit. This is the 3-minute chart. 3-minute chart. All right, there's a NASDAQ, there's ES, and let's look at 4150. 4150. ES is now 4151, 4150.50, 75, and there is the absorption at 4151. Let's see if they're going to absorb that level. And look at that. They're going to come down and touch S4. Yeah, Apple's starting to round over now. If you took that Apple short, well done. So, all right, we are coming down and touching S4, which is a very significant level. Didn't quite get there. Didn't quite get there. XLF, what did it do? XLF is still holding the 50, barely. XLV is there. Apple coming down to the 50 as well. Microsoft straight down. Amazon straight down. Down almost 4%. Incredible weakness in the market. Incredible weakness in the market. Tesla's coming off. Nvidia's coming. Man, look at that. Straight down. Crazy stuff. I wish I'd hold my shorts from the morning, that's for sure. That would have been a nice little win. That would have been a 36-point win per contract. Love the 10 to 15%ers. That's right, Damon. He's got 14 points on MES. Nice double D. All right, so we are touching 4150. NASDAQ coming on down, and they're touching this level here. And we got just a touch small bounce here, but all weakness. Tech getting smoked. Apple, if they join the fun and come back down to 159 and change, it's man. You better hope the banks don't join the fun. This could be significant selling volume if XLF and the banks start dumping. How low do I think this will go? I'm actually surprised by this going FOMC. This makes me think that the market wants no part of this FOMC if they're going to take tech off like this. Of course, the rates, I mean, look at the rates. They're hovering right around 3. But the fact that I'm seeing this much selling here among tech, especially Amazon, is getting destroyed. This tells me there's not a lot of high hopes for what's going to happen this afternoon. What are they? See, UK market is still slightly uptrending. They've got these little downward trends, but they're still holding this upwards trend. So German market's pretty flat, not moving all that much, but we'll see what happens. Let's take a look at, let's see here. I need load. Let's come over here. Man, NASDAQ is nothing but red. Nothing but red. So everything is pointed down, 8, 21, 34. You've got the VWAPs down, 50 simple moving average down, way up there, and we are just blasting downwards. Blasting downwards. Top wick city to begin and then dump. Someone knows something, maybe a 0.75. Now, if they were pricing it at 0.75, this would be under 410 at least. At least. I think this is just people taking risk off. Now, this is just the morning. If this continues in FOMC, then yes, I agree with you. They are expecting the worst if this continues in FOMC. Yeah, IV on positions are very now. You know, IV. The layman's term is the market's anticipation of a large move. And that, I think everyone's expecting at least a large move coming into the FOMC, or at least post-FOMC. Premiums are still holding up pretty well. I'm watching these premiums. They're not moving all that much. When I started looking at those 41.90 calls, they're still at 17, so they only come off a couple of bucks. So premiums are still holding up. Oh yeah, if they hike 75, you're going to see some very, very large red candles. Tinfoil theory. Markets are set up for a bear rally at FOMC, but dumping beforehand to include bearish retail positions. Very possible. Very, very possible. I'm not going to front run that though, but very possible. There are great arguments for both upside and downside post FOMC, but it still all comes down to the post data guidance. When J Powell starts talking, yes, we hiked 50 points this time, but we're going to have to hike 75 from here on out, or unforeseen circumstances makes this more dire than anticipated. Blah blah blah. That's correct, Andre. Yep. I'm watching premiums, though. They're still holding up a little bit, all things considered. But, yeah, zeros are going to eat up this action. All right, in 9 minutes, I am going to have to jump off here to run out to my obligation. But I will be back within an hour and a half. So, hour and a half, hour 45. Red action off of the 30 or 80 MA. NASDAQ new lows, still straight on down. Do I see us going through 4150? If we do, then there's no end in sight. So if they do the planned 50 bulls points, is that bullish? Yeah. If they do just a normal status quo, then we'll go back up. We'll rage up. And that's why I said in my pre-market analysis, what my thinking is, we'll have it if they're going to come out, they're going to print the data, which will be status quo, and things will bounce. We'll get some green action, and then we'll have the real move that'll come with when he starts talking. Now, if he comes out, if the data is status quo, and then he comes out on the presser, and he's just, yeah, everything's fine, we did everything normal, nothing's changed, then we'll continue on up. But if he comes out and releases the data, but then he has what he did last time is some crazy data, so forward-looking guidance, and then we'll have another move to the opposite direction after that. The real move won't come until he starts talking 1430. Do I see a possibility for only a 25 basis point hike? I don't think that's going to happen. I know that's an argument for people saying that the markets have been so red in April that it would be beneficial for him to do that. But the problem is that the Fed is in a impossible position. You know, they at some point it's unavoidable. They have to start hiking rates. They have to start tightening what they've put into the market the past few years. They have to do it. There's no way around it. So, yeah, they're going to have to. I think they have to hike 50 at least. All you're going to do by hiking 25 is delay the inevitable. The longer they delay it, the harder the market's going to fall eventually. That's why they're hiking gradually. That's why they're doing quantitative tightening gradually, so they can stair step the market down and not pull the rug out, and we jump out of a plane with no parachute. Oh yeah, it's great. I love having these discussions. So I like talking through all scenarios. It's good stuff. It's good. That's right, Damon. Market goes up, market goes down. I don't care. We make money. There's a reason why I have over 130% account gain this year, and one of the hardest markets in the hardest market I've ever traded, up and down, because we play it up and down, baby. All right, rejection of the 8 EMA coming down. Top wick, red candle. LRS. Do you use just 821 crossover trading SPY options? No, not just that. That is an indication I use, but that's not just that. That's just any technical indicators like that are just the back end confirmation after I do my initial analysis. Oh, that's my plan, Damien. That's my plan. That's what the Zoom calls are for, as well as this stuff. Tie it all together so I can teach y'all everything I know. And it's really not that difficult. It's just managing your emotions. It's all about discipline. Are you disciplined enough to follow a plan? That's the main question. We could sit here and talk about bonds and yields and all this other crazy fancy stuff, and it really comes down to one thing. And can you be disciplined enough to follow a system? Pick something. There's 50 million strategies out there that all work. It doesn't matter. But it all comes down to, can you be disciplined enough to follow a system? If you can't, I hate to tell you, but you're never going to be profitable. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter who you follow. You'll never be profitable. It is. It's incredibly difficult in real time. That's why there's not that many profitable people doing this, because they have the rules written down. They say they're going to do this. Everything's nice and easy. And then they go to actual trade and things go against them and they say, screw this. I can't lose this money. I'm going to hold on for dear life. And you get destroyed. Or you think that this is a high confidence play, so you're going to take an extremely large position size. Hey, dear God, I just need one play to go my way and I could triple my account just one time. And then you go to zero. Booyah. If you are, trust me, I am a very religious person. But if you are involving your God in your trading system in terms of praying that you want a good outcome, then you're doing it wrong. Pray for strength. Don't pray for an outcome, because God doesn't care about your money. Anyway, green candles, 415.50. Don't call Kathy Woods out like that. A little bit of green, not much. Prior swing high. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set a swing high level right there, 415.74. I would say everything, Jukebox, and we're going to build on that stuff. Yes, I do TechVestor. I host these streams every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on YouTube, and then I do every single day in the Discord room. Looking into. Well, thanks, Ayer. I've always had trouble understanding swing high, low. I know it's simple, but just can't catch it. Yeah, no big. Let's go over it. Well, I've got like 2 minutes, but are you? No. Okay. The swing high lows are just price action. So if you are watching the YouTube, so right here, I want to set. These are just dynamic SR levels. Here, we've came up and failed. So wherever the market fails, wherever the market bounces, I want to notate because that is obviously a supply and demand level. Whether how weak it is, it may be a weak supply demand, it may be a strong side supply demand, but those swing high levels, swing low levels are dynamic supply demand zones. So you want to be very aware of them. There's a reason why you fail the swing high, come down, and you come up and fail it again because that is a dynamic demand zone. So I don't want to do the little stuff like this, but I want to do the big stuff like here, bam, like here, bam, bam, here, which also happens to be S1. Form those levels because it gives you an insight onto where the market is pivoting their supply demand zones in live action. Oh, thank you, Jukebox. Appreciate that. Lee Rat, where are you going? Your mom's house. 415.71, 415.34. You're very welcome, Darwin. $41.50. Yeah, I see your point, Murphy's Law. Murphy's Outlaw. What I mean by the swing lows is just like where this thing swings from. I guess it's just, it's more of a visual thing for me. But yeah, I get your point. I see your point. What's up, Salim? How you doing? Never had levels work so well. Well, thanks, Tristan. All right, y'all. Well, I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to have to bounce. I am going to do another stream tonight for the FOMC. I'll be back before FOMC, so don't worry about that. Let me know if you got any questions. Hit me up in the Discord. Shoot me a message if you want any questions about anything, or if you have any questions about anything, let me know. We are 4 months in, so I'm sorry, 4 days into the month, so you have plenty of time to sign up for the Patreon if that's what you want to do. Come join the community. But I look forward to the afternoon, man. I'm very, very excited for this afternoon. I think we're going to have a fantastic day, fantastic night, and we're going to make a little money. If not, we're going to learn something. Hey, pick up the phone. That was the Budweiser commercial. Great sound. Yeah. I'm in the Army. I have to be on time all the time. Yeah. I will be back. I'm not sure exactly, but it'll be roughly 12:30 Eastern. Roughly 12:30 Eastern. So I will give updates on my cell phone, though. We're doing that. So, all right, y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. I will see you all this afternoon. Be ready for it. Keep your powder dry. Don't fight the chop. I promise you will get some action in. Y'all take it easy. Be safe. I'm out.